Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the right-hand corner of the map, vying for a ticket to Athens. In the blue color, playing as the Matarasu, it is Mosca. His opponent today, also equally excited about the prospects of a Athens tournament experience. In the red color, playing as Odin, it is HUSKSUPPE. A battle of wits, brains, fundamentals, and stylistic differences. Soup opens up with his tried and true Odin build. He can rush, he can get relics, he can do whatever he wants, and he is in this situation deciding to go for the Hursur. Early Hursur coming out means, well, one thing. Two things, actually. One is he's going to be able to find himself the relics on the map. Take a quick look. He hasn't actually been able to spot any just yet, but there are some over here. There's the arrows of Heracles on this side. On the left side are all of the other relics. There is the Great Sompantli, which is going to be boosting up those sentry towers, making them a little bit cheaper. And then we have the Ship of Fingernails. A little bit of extra food goes a long way. And then finally, there is the Fetters of Fenrir. Just a nice assistance to defend if your villagers get attacked. If you do need to sort of defend a gold mine or something like that, it can be quite nice where that's concerned. But this is going to be a slower advance for Soup, and he's used to this. This is fine for him. He is playing against Amaterasu, not really known for the early aggression, though you can go in for Amano Uzume and put something onto Soup, but those Hursur being out early means as soon as he hits the classical age, he's going to be in a good spot, and we do see Mosca opting in for the Mina Katatomi. So we're not going to see any early game aggression. It's just going to be straight in for defensive fundamental play. I was talking about this. It is just how it is. This is what Mosca likes to do. And how unlucky can one Soup be?
Yo.
He's literally scouted the entirety of the top side of the map, but the relics are all on the bottom side. So he does miss out on those. He might wander over there a little bit later and try and grab them, but he's looking for some pressure early on, and he does decide to go for Heimdall here. As the Miko does get sent back. Little bit of pressure here as the age up's not quite in. Healing from the other Miko is going to shut down all of this early game nonsense. He can also undermine the wooden wall if he really wants to. As still a little bit more fighting coming in. Of course, you don't really want to take the fight until you hit the next age completely, as now he's going for it, and that will be the next age in for Soup. I'm pretty sure the Miko not going to have the easiest of time here, as it's going to get healed back up all the way back into this main base. But now Soup's going after the villagers on the back, and they have to pull back. So some pretty nice damage here from Soup early on. So long as he doesn't lose anything, he should be in a good spot here. As is that a... No way that's a town center. No way that's a town center. I don't think that Soup can stop this, but I mean, he can't stop it. There's no stopping the town center, but he just knows what's going on here. I mean, what do? Do you start just beating at the town center and see how much damage you can get done? It's not going to be able to stop it. There's enough villagers here. This Mosca opening is kind of insane. As the one Udor going to get targeted down, that will actually end up getting picked off without a solar shield, but the solar shield comes through. Hursur changing onto the villagers up onto this side, as that healing is just so strong. Soup is going so hard. He does now pick off one Miko. Going after the next Miko will be some damage to come through. There's 20 seconds left on the town center, as... will he get the fill here? He does pick off one villager. While this is all going on behind it, the problem for Soup is he just hasn't really been producing things. The Hursur is still coming through. Undermine onto the town center doesn't really do all that much, as the ironry are coming through. Is this going to be enough? I don't think it will. He's going to have to run, and he's probably going to lose a Hursur or two on the escape. Wow, Mosca gets away with his town center, but I can't say that that was worth it for him. That's a wild, absolutely wild decision from Mosca. Now, Soup has to make his own choice. Does he go back and play defense now and get his own second town center? Does Soup decide to go for a full all-in here? The gold mine situation isn't the best for Mosca, but he does have a nice gold over on this right side, which he can move to, and or this left side very far away. So there are those two things. As the Ironry comes through, does use that special as the Hursa are going to come in. They're going to pick off one villager, going after the next villager here as well, as the Ironry can tank the town center as well. He gets the Vill pick, and Soup is out of there. What a wild start to this game. Soup now dropping a longhouse. I have to imagine he's thinking town center here. It's just he's got so much of the map that just not going for an all-in after doing that much damage just kind of makes sense. Of course, after doing that much damage and going for an all-in here also makes sense, but it's Mosca, and sometimes it's better to just say, Mosca, your defense is just too good. I'm not going to go crazy on you. Let's try do something a little bit more down the line, a little bit more inside of the Soup wheelhouse, which is this Heimdall boom. He's going to get the walls set up all over the map. He's already got Safeguard. He's already got Riggs Thula, so his unique technologies are in, and it's going to be very, very, very strong for him as Mosca does lose his Kitsune, does not manage to scout the town center being up. You might be able to make a guess that that's happening, but, well, the town center will be through for Soup. He is a couple villages behind on the whole thing, but he's going to be able to catch up because of Rigstula. Trains faster. Everything trains faster. So we'll see what is going to be developing here after the economic upgrades come through. What sort of like plan after this for Soup? He had a nice plan to get it kicked off. Did Soup get all the relics? I think he did. I think he went around and he picked them all up. He's found them now. He's got 2 on the other side. Is there a random Miko that's picked up the relics? No. Soup's just holding on to them. Am I blind? Oh, there they are. Both the relics now coming back in. Soup's going to be enjoying those as the Naginata Riders are going to be searching for villagers to pick off. Soup is in the center of the map for the moment, so there is some damage that can come through as Mosca still searching around, yet to actually spot this position as he's going to come over into this black fog and just be like, where could those villagers be? And he does manage to spot them. Soup here going to turn and get some shanks in, but I mean, there's Solar Shield. And that's going to be really, really annoying to deal with. Immediately moving on to the other Naginata Rider, and it looks like that's going to be another villager going down as, well, the Naginata Rider will just say, Solar Shield, it's over. Let me get out of there. Nice play from Mosca as he gets some early game damage revenge in. So the first punch was thrown from Soup. Mosca responds with the left hook as now the wall's coming up over onto this second gold mine. The Mosca fundamentals are in. And we are going to be seeing Soup equally saying, hey, if you're going to take this side, let me at least block this off, prevent this food from ever going Mosca's way. That's got to be the idea there, is now the walls are just going up everywhere. And of course, with Safeguard and with Norse, the walls are dirt cheap. You don't have to spend villager training time, or gathering time, I should say, villager gathering time. And the walls are down to, what is this, 7 gold for a long wall. That's down from 21, or 15, excuse me, down from 15 gold. But Soup actually says it's not 2 town centers he wants. He's going 3. He's going 3 town centers. That's kind of insane, no? The problem is that Mosca doesn't know what's going on here. Of course, he can guess that there's a town center, but would you ever guess that there's 3? Would you ever guess that there's 3? I don't think you would. Berserk's now got themselves Berserk again, which means they can get around the map faster, can get those raids off as well, and can look for more walls. And here comes medium infantry for Soup. So what's the plan to get out of this from Mosca? Mosca's walling up the entirety of his own map. This is very important. Very, very important for Japan versus Norse. Otherwise, they're going to get in here with these berserks and cause a lot of problems. One villager gets picked off. Now, Soup searching for more villagers over here. What does he see? He sees a villager onto this side. He could try for that, but instead, down to the bottom side, there are going to be wolves over here. Meanwhile, up onto this top position, the wall for Soup is going to get broken down. I think Soup, I don't think he's got quite enough stuff here to defeat all of the samurai, so he's got to be careful there as the berserks charging in. They're actually facing up against wolves as the samurai will be in to deal with all of that. Soup's charging around, trying to get a villager pick, but he will be dropping all of those berserks for this one villager. It looks like not worth it in the slightest there for Soup. Is the army going to come in? I still don't see any throwing axemen. There are two in queue here as in comes the Soupster. The samurai are going to be having that front line. They do so much damage here. You could also bring the villagers off and start shanking, and he indeed does go for that. He doesn't have himself the survival equipment yet, but it doesn't matter. He has the relic. So those are hitting very, very hard as Mosca is sent back, and Soup will be able to hold on for a little bit, get a little bit of revenge fire in, and after losing all those berserks on the bottom, he's got to be happy about this situation. Drags the units in, picks off all of those Yumi archers, and on this side as well, the Naginata riders, they have to pull away. Soup is in control, it looks like, as Mosca, well, he's hiding behind his walls. From an economic standpoint, Mosca's in a good spot. It's 56 villages to 69, though. It's maybe not in an economic standpoint, but in a technological standpoint, because he's just hit that Bushido Tier 2. He's in a good spot, and he can start working towards Bushido Tier 3. What Soup should be trying to do here, and it's tough to do it, but he should take at least one berserk out and continue these walls. Take the rest of this map, because why not? Raiding cavalry into the main base, searching after villagers here. Random Mikos to get targeted down as Mosca needs to get up here and take the fights as the throwing axeman pulling back ever so slightly. We are seeing a samurai going down in the main base as another solar shield is forced out there as the villager is going to try and keep itself alive, but not going to be able to do so. Can Soup get out of here? He might have to drop Undermine if he doesn't want to escape, or just target down the wall there. He says, all right, no, we'll take this fight, and now there goes the Undermine. Not what he wanted to do. He was stuck in there. Nice sacrifice on the villager, but the favor was in, and he can run away as now the resources are in for Soup. His economy has absolutely exploded in this game. He's at 800 food, nearly 3,000 gold as an armory is going to get dropped down. Desperation to some degree, but he just needs to get the units out. It's 160 pop for Mosca. That's the problem. 160 pop for Mosca. A couple of extra temples down for Ironry and Frost Giants to come through. Of course, a Frost is going to be huge. Armory upgrades all starting to come in as well on the side of Mosca. He's already got himself copper weapons. He's going up for the copper armor. And on top of this, now there's going to be ballistics in for those Yumi archers. While this is going on, though, raiding cavalry looking for any bit of distraction. Losing this raiding cavalry pack, this isn't going to matter in the slightest. This is just about slowing the Mosca pain train down. Because all Soup needs is some time now. Though town center going up for Mosca over onto this left side. I do wish that was already walled off. This could have been denied from Soup. But Mosca's going to be living the dream here. Having this town center, he can then use that to get up onto this position and maybe start throwing his own walls down there and look for some more stuff over here. Raiding cavalry coming in to try and take down the villagers on the gold mine. As while this is happening in, Soup comes trying to take out that back line as the Frost will get dropped. This is not the best of Frosts, but there will be a hill fort getting dropped, and the villagers on this position still going down as Mosca says, all right, time for the Shanky Shanks, as we have also got the Solar Shield getting dropped, and Soup's going to have to do some ring around the rosy micro. The Frost Giants now slowly starting to come in, as well as Rhyme. So much gold in the bank here for Soup. Should mean he can just get those out so quickly, and I don't think there is a single hero in. There isn't a single hero in for Mosca at the moment. These Frost Giants should be a gigantic help as the hill fort is still coming up. Soup looks to be somewhat stuck here as his units are trying to pull away, but Mosca says, I'll pull back myself because I don't like that position, and Soup will come out of the spot, and he does have to abandon the hill fort here as Mosca is now ready to start making his own push back. The Frost Giants getting some good frosts in here. You can hit the Samurai. That's what you want to do with those Frost Giants. Mosca needs heroes, and he does immediately say, oh, you've got myth units, no worries. Let me get my On the Musha out, and they will come and help out. But this should be a really, really good opportunity for Soup to make something happen, but he's pulling away from the fight. Again, it's hard to micro this, but you've got to get the Throw-in Axeman onto the Samurais. Equally, Mosca's got to get his Naginata Riders onto the Throw-in Axeman, or he needs some sort of ranged force to make something happen. And Soup charging forward, the On the Musha are giving themselves away to some degree. You want to be targeting them down, but he gets onto the back line. Mosca gets onto the back line. A couple of units starting to fall as the Throw-in Axemen are not targeting Samurai, and this will be giving Mosca a big edge in this fight as Soup now pulls back. It's going to be full population versus full population. Mosca's gotten through the worst of this advantage that Soup was building up. He's up to tier 3 Bushido. He's going to be able to now look for a heroic age, which means Thunderdome is coming in, which means extra upgrades are coming through, and Soup did not manage to lock this town center off. He's trying to get himself the gold mines sorted out onto the left side, but walls are coming up all along the back here as well. As Soup comes over here, and he's like, I'll get my own walls up, but now there's going to be a gap there. He might not notice it. Villagers pushed off that gold mine as well, as Soup needs to take this fight here, and he needs to be winning this fight here. Focusing down those heroes is the most important thing with those Throw-in Axemen, but equally the On the Musha, they can't go frontline here, because if they go into the front line, they get erased. And now the Frost Giants are just going to sit here and live the dream in this fight. But is there enough even with all of that happening? I don't know. Soup here, he's got only 4 longhouses in, 5 great halls. On the flip side, Mosca's got 4 dojos. That's close to equal to 8 dojos when you think about it. 3 stables, 3 guardhouses. He's got a lot of infrastructure. Up onto the top side now, though, the portable ram coming through. Berserk's in to support, but the villagers, they're ready for the Shanky Shanks. It's the town center getting targeted down. Mosca is doing the garrison micro, as Soup also going to be doing some little micro from himself. The real reason that Soup can sit in here with all these berserks is because that portable ram is tanking, and as soon as the portable ram dies, he might just pull those berserks out of here. But nonetheless, into the front, onto this position. Soup almost ignoring this for the time being, as now the hill fort on the back will be popping up. But this big problem for Soup is where to next. He's got himself fortified town centers. He's got himself 28 dwarves. Gold situation. He's got a little bit of gold onto the top. He's over onto this left side. This middle position is of utmost important. This position as well. If this position gets take, then Mosca's going to have a really, really tough game here. You've also got the random villagers in this corner ready to potentially go for some sort of a side build there as well. As more villagers going down, more attack from the portable rams here as a castle into the middle for Mosca, so Mosca can start sieging Soup's town center. It's been true since the beginning of time as an undermine to come in and finished off this town center for Soup. It's been true since the beginning of time, though. If Norse loses a town center, life becomes very, very tricky. Raiju gets taken out as the Throw-in Axeman going to continue to get that damage done up onto the top position. This one Raiju not going to be enough for all of this infantry up here. And losing that town center effectively means now that Soup's got himself 40 population. 45 population advantage. So he can easily sit on this side with not very, with a lot of units and continue to push through the middle. Mosca, he is in a tough spot. He's trying to make the Raiju out. There are some Godi, not really enough Godi here. I'd love to see some more Hersir coming in or something like that. Some more Frost Giants coming in for Soup. An Iron Hurry coming in, something like that to help him out, just so that he can deal with this Raiju presence. The other issue is if this army does end up falling, then Soup's main base is open. Town center is up though for Soup. Coming in onto this position, the portable ram getting taken down, but with the Berserks here, Mosca's got to leave this gold mine. Mosca's got himself 900 gold on the right. This one's open, but I mean, portable rams can get over there and start taking that out. Do we see any sort of siege coming through for Mosca at the moment, though, is the question. And onto the middle side as Soup will pull through his own walls. Ready to see something. As you have the Raiju on this left side going down. This wall coming up onto this spot now for Soup to just lock the rest of the map off. One Miko goes down as the shrine also going to be falling. More Hursa for Soup now. It's what he needs to deal with these Raiju as the Oyumi is out. So Mosca does have an angle here to push through this. The big problem for Soup is that Mosca is about to hit Bushido tier 4. And, well, what does that mean? It means the champion units is going to be in, and Soup is not close to being able to deal with that. The castle on this position looks like it will be going up as well. And Soup's still trying to deal with things over on this side. The Berserks are... Well, Berserks are getting converted over here, but I think you can just get those villagers back in, no problems. As tier is on the way now for Soup. That's perfect because he's going to be up to that Mythic Age so that he can get himself the champion units. That's the problem that he's going to be facing here. Look at the other problem for Soup, actually, is that his gold situation is not looking too good. A market placed into the corner, but nothing there just yet to take it out. Has to take out the wall first as the units break through into the main base. However, the portable rams still causing issues. This town center has been at nearly 1800 HP since the start of the game. Now towers coming up onto this spot, but Soup might be spreading himself just that little bit too thin. If he waited on this Fimbulwinter, he might have been able to actually get the attack in and taking the town center out. The portable ram now finished as, funnily enough, the wolves will start to target down the Shrine of the Hunt wolves over here. Units still trying to make their way through on this position. It's 160 pop apiece here as both players are struggling to get their economy going into the top corner. Soup still hasn't placed those markets. His units haven't quite gotten up there just yet. The town center over here is slowly starting to go down as Soup trying to send a couple of units over and deal with that. It's not going to be working out for him. Fenris Wolves here are a real option for Soup. He's got 180 favor here as we do have in onto this position the Thunderburst that that Mosca has been holding onto for such a long time. As the Oyumi will get chased down. This town center is 1500 HP. It's still got a little bit of survivability here. Fenris Wolf can come over and probably take that out as well. All these Berserks versus the champion Samurai can't be good for him. In this position though, Soup is getting up a hill fort on the face of Mosca. On the face of Mosca, and Mosca is responding with his own castle for the time being, but that's terrifying. Now the market's up for Soup. He's still got gold over here. He's still got gold over here. If he can just take some villagers off of wood, like on this one, and come over and actually mine gold, he's going to be fine. He's got so many resources. He's now the villagers to come on to the castle. The Berserks will get some kills. Solar Shield gets dropped down to try and give that survivability in. Market finally up for Soup as he can start that trade route he does desperately need. But while this is all going on, the siege push from Mosca still continuing across. There's upgrades coming in and Soup just not macroing. Sell 2,000 wood and he can get everything started. Now the Goaty coming in, Hursa coming in. He does need those. Mosca's going to say, I'll take the town center now. Thank you very much. Mosca's got himself set up. He's going to be in a really good spot here for full population. As the Samurai will be able to take out these Berserks here as well. They're pretty strong. I don't think the Berserks have got enough. Do they have Berserker Gang yet? They don't have Berserker Gang yet, so I think the Samurai might actually win that fight. 2 Samurai versus 8 Berserks. Nonetheless, portable rams coming through, going to try and take out the castle as the double hill fort on the back there from Soup. And Soup now finally onto this gold mine. The big problem for Mosca is he doesn't really have a gold mine himself here. He's only got, but he's got 3 markets and he's got all of the deer caravans. And now with the town center up, This is where things might start to turn around for Mosca. Can Soup stamp him out with this side build, though, is the big question. Undermine here will deny the castle for the moment. Give him a little bit more survivability. But I want to see some myth units coming out. Like, surely some Fenris Wolves here would not be a terrible decision. 127 favor, you can build 6 Fenris Wolves to come in and snipe all the siege, snipe some villagers on the gold mine in the middle of the map as well. With Mosca getting that gold back, that is a big issue. That this could lead to somewhat of a base trade here if that works for Soup, though, I think, because he's going to have himself the Bravery Huskars, and he can just build up in that spot. These Oyumi aren't the strongest of siege weapons. It takes a while to take them down. And Soup's got himself Architects. On the flip side, there's no access to Engineers, which you need to start really doing that damage until you're in the Mythic Age, of which Mosca is not close to. Berserk's going to continue to hit this gold mine as well into the main base. These units are just swinging through, and I think Soup's overcommitted a little bit there as the portable ram slowly taking down the town center. The village is going to be attempting to stop that as he's trying to repair it back up, not helping those portable rams on that town center. A little bit of a question mark move there as the watchtower is going to be doing what it can, and Soup just can't get himself out an army here. Mosca, the fundamentals, the macro, just so solid under all of this pressure. The Soup will pull back underneath his hill fort and tower again. He's lost houses. He's got to get those back up. Castle coming up now for Mosca on this position is exactly what he needs. Securing that gold mine is going to be huge for him. He can also start just buying food and wood if need be. It's really cheap for him at the moment as the unit's charging forward. There is now siege engineers in for Soup, so his portable rams are going to be really, really strong. Taking this town center down does stop the trade route. Throw an axeman in to take out the samurai, but you've got a micro here as the rams slowly taking the town center down, but the villagers taking the portable rams down as well. Main base still under attack, and we do finally see some Fenris Wolves coming in, but I mean, they're really, really good here. They should be able to take out the Oyumi, no problems. That's what he needs them for. Charge in, kill off the Oyumi. They've also got the Berserks coming in up to the top side as well. As he will be able to deny the pressure for the time being. The siege attack. There's more rams coming through, taking buildings down left, right, and center. It's just absolute chaos from Soup here as the Ballista. That's going to attempt to start being a little bit more of an effective, consistent siege unit to take down the town center for Mosca. Mosca's also got himself that Architects coming through. He's got Orkuni Nushi pre-queued for Mythic Age, but it's just going to be a very, very long time until that actually comes in. Fenris Wolves, and you can see the effectiveness of these Fenris Wolves as they make short work of that Japanese human unit army. Another undermine to deny the castle up onto this side. A little bit late on that cast, though, as it finishes up. And, well, Soup can take down both of those anyways. But Mosca reclaims the position here as Soup's got to pull back. He's got the double hill forts up, so there is some defense. Does he have himself his upgrade? No. That technology, advanced fortifications, is so key. So key in these types of situations. Does so much damage. Just for those of you playing at home, what does that technology do? 50% more bonus damage. 50% more damage. Just period. So if the hill fort's doing 36 damage, it's going to be going up to it's base damage. We'll just work with me here. It's going to be going up to nearly 50 damage, right? Not bad. As the town center going down, and Mosca, he taps out. I don't believe he was lost here, but he taps out. The Soupster manages to, and he is now getting that advanced fortifications. He manages to hold on. This was not looking good for Soup. He just couldn't get population out. He couldn't get anything happening here for a moment. But the minute he spends his favor, the minute he gets back to 235 population, Mosca says, nope, I can't make it happen. A hard-fought game here by both, but Soup ends up getting the better of it. Both players started off, well, Mosca started off shaky, but he got the revenge fire in, which equalized and gave him an advantage. But then the way that Soup just constructed this Heimdall game, he knows how to Heimdall at such a high level. I think the only thing here that I would have liked to see was one Berserk out of the army just finishing the walls up. Because if he'd walled up this entire position, this game would have been over at 15 minutes. Like, it was such a big advantage from Soup. Nonetheless, a well-played game here for him. Gets off the races. We're going to jump back into the draft and see what we're going to be seeing for game number 2. Hope you guys are having a fantastic time hanging out with me. Let's check it out. Alrighty, guys. It is going to be a Tsukiyomi versus Quetzalcoatl game. This is a matchup I have played once. Well, I played the Pantheon matchup once before. I think I don't remember if I was playing Tezcatlipoca or I was playing Huitzilopochtli or I was playing Quetzalcoatl, but I've played it once before. And I'll tell you what I like. I like the classical age here for Aztecs. I like the classical age here for the Aztecs. I think if you can go for that, it's going to be a good time. Part of it is to get security of the map. The other part of it is that the Tlalmani Spearmen are so good versus those horses, those Naginata riders. The Tequila archers, once you get enough of them, are so good versus those samurai because you just start scoot and shoot backwards, and the spearmen protect the archers from the spearmen protect the archers from the cav, and the archers protect the spearmen from the samurai. It's kind of wild how that works, right? You got, what does that even mean? How can the archers protect the spearmen? You're just running and the damage is being done, right? And you just keep on pulling back, and the micro is hard though, to be completely fair. On the other side, you go, well, if that's the case, then surely the Yumi archers are really good. To which I say, yes, they are, but, and it's a pretty big but, those Coyote warriors end up being really key here. Now, once you get to the heroic age and the shinobi start coming through for Tsukiyomi, it gets a little bit more dicey, but you do have access to the very important Sean one in the heroic age, as well as Eagle Warrior. So there's probably a nice way through here for the Quetzalcoatl, but there's some really big timings to be worried about. And Tsukiyomi is a timing god in the end of the day. Apparently it's too Eagle and you just want to make Eagle Warriors. The problem with just making Eagle Warriors is you're playing into what Tsukiyomi wants to do, which is raid you into the ground. And if you want to go for a handful of Spearmen Watchtowers and then go Heroic Age for Eagle Warriors, that's probably another valid move. But I feel like you might run into some second gold mine issues. Soup is neither my cousin nor my nor my brother, but we are bald brothers. Yes, yes. Well, we're just getting started today, guys. This is literally, I mean, it's the first game of what is potentially going to be a best of 5 series. And don't forget, the next game after this is the it's the other semifinal, Recon and Grass, which is again going to be another blockbuster match. And then we've got the finals for week 1. So it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. All right. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and apologize in advance. I'm going to tell you guys what for, but apparently this is something that you guys are enjoying. I think you guys are all trolls. I think you guys are all trolls. All right. So Tsukiyomi, Quetzalcoatl. I'm not even 100% sure what the keys to victory are here from the Tsukiyomi side, considering it's gorge. It's a very open map. So it's easy to kind of move away from the timing attack sort of situation. Well, we'll see how it's going to go. Let's jump into game number 2. Mosca, not starting off too well. Normally, he'd be getting off to a very fiery start, having a lot of success, but not today. Let's jump into game number 2 on the map Gorge. And apologies for Discord pings. Alrighty, in the left-hand corner of the map, Mosca playing as Tsukiyomi. In the right-hand corner of the map, picking your Discord, it is Mr. Ace's Husk Soup playing as Quetzalcoatl. We are on the map Gorge, everyone's favorite Discord map, and we've got ourselves the Feather of Bafang, human soldier, damage bonus against buildings plus 0.2x. Up to the top here, we do have the Gungnir Odin's Spear, which is going to be damage of melee attack plus 5% of base there. And finally, no, not finally, there's 2 more relics. We've got the Kui Drum. This is going to be the heroes increasing damage by 0.25%. So 1% HP lost. And finally, Tail Feathers of Heaven. That's a big relic here for both players, giving the infantry units a little bit of extra divine damage. So, game plans. Soup here. You can already see he's opened up for his triple Cal Pulley opening. It's really simple for those of you wanting to play at home and try and work out how to do these pro level builds. Let me explain. You put 3 villagers onto the first Cal Pulley, and then you get Lumber Outpost. Then you put 3 villagers onto food, and you get the Livestock Pen. And then you put 3 villagers onto gold with another Craft Workshop, and you get another Cal Pulley, and you get Craft Workshop. And then you put the rest onto food, and as soon as you can afford the temple, you drop that, you drop a house, and you live the dream. Big eco, very simple to remember. It's the 3-3-3 build. On the flip side here, Mosca, he's dropping his temple. He's only going for the 1 Miko at the moment, getting his scouting in. 10 cows currently grabbed for Mosca, as some will get stolen back here as well. Some will come up onto this side, and we'll see what's going to happen. Inari Okami from Mosca. There's not really any surprises here. Going for Amano Uzume with Tsukiyomi, the only real synergy that I can think of, and I think it's kind of interesting, it's kind of a nice idea, is the Shinobi angle. Amano Uzume, you get the infantry tech, then you go in the mythic age through Watatsumi, and you get the smoke bomb tech, or the seaside infiltrators. Kind of makes some sense. But nonetheless, up to the top side. Mosca already onto secondary hunt, as we are going to be seeing Huehue Koyoro. That's a different angle here. I'm a little surprised on that one. I'm not exactly sure what the game plan is outside of the fact that he just wants to get Teponatsli drums, and also having the lullaby can be really nice as well. As Soup makes his move out onto the secondary hunt as well, there's already Naginata riders coming through from Mosca, as he's going to be very, very prepared to find that hunt. This is something Soup does quite a lot of. He leaves his base early, goes on to hunt when it's not the safest, but he will have himself the laser turret, and he is going to sit over here in probably okay. Probably be okay to defend. As Soup sets up his turret, and the scouting coming through from Mosca, just trying to figure out exactly what he is up against. And of course, as the Kitsune comes close, it's going to take a pretty decent chunk of damage before it gets out of here. Almost gets picked off there. It was one more shot and it would have been taken out. As the army of units from Mosca to come through, and Soup does spot it, but does he spot it with his own units or not? He's not pulling up onto this side to defend himself. He's going in for some Ocelotl warriors here as the units are going to come through. And Soup now, this is first blood drawn as the villagers pull away from the laser turret. And unfortunately for Soup, he did see everything. He did notice it, but he didn't actually see it himself. He could have seen it if he looked, but unfortunately did not. And Mosca, very, very happy there. Gets in, gets a Vil pick, loses a Kitsune, not the end of the world, and gets out. As random walls coming up over onto this side. Mosca doesn't notice it. He's going to be pulling up to the top, and he's out of there. While this is all going on, however, wall is taken down. Jiragumo standing guard. We've also got some Coyote Warriors actually starting to come through, as Soup is expecting to see some archers. My thought on this is you don't want to build the Coyote Warriors until you confirm your opponent's going for archers. And once you see the archers being built, you have to be really in tune with how many archers they're building. And you want to build just the right amount of Coyote Warriors. It's very, very tough to use them, but they are very good if you get it right. Armory coming up for Mosca as he is wanting this fast heroic. On the flip side, Soup is staying in the classical age. Soup is staying in the classical age. We will be seeing the units trying to come in. There is some room for a stealth attack onto these villagers, but Soup doesn't want that. He's just going to come in and say, hello there, villagers. Tries to get onto the front. There goes the tailwind. That's going to be one villager picked. Two villagers picked there as the Naginata Riders trying to play some defense, but not going to be able to do a whole lot. That's a big amount of damage, but it's a big god power down the drain there. As up to the top side now, Soup is searching for some more. He's about to get that Teponatsli drums there, so his units will all be incredibly fast. The villagers do pull back. They get back to safety, and Mosca stays out of line of sight. Up onto this side, though, the turret, this thing is tanking up for days. For those of you who don't know, it's got 60% hack armor here, so it is incredibly tanky versus anything and everything not named crush it's not anything that doesn't have crush damage. Basically, if it's got crush damage, then it does a lot. But or if it's got the alternative of divine damage, ignoring armor. Anyways, damage dealt from Soup, but heroic age in for Mosca as Soup is continuing on his Ocelotl journey. And we will see the medium nobles huts coming in. Coyote Warrior, Ocelotl Warrior. And I guess the Coyote Warriors are actually in to try and deal with Yuumi Horse Archer, which sort of makes sense when you think about it. Just take a look at the upgrade from Soup. If he gets this one, then he's already got 5.8 speed Coyote Warriors. Then he gets this tech, and this gives him an extra 15% reduction, or a reduction of 15% of vulnerability to pierce. Those Yuumi Horse Archers are going to simply just melt. And on top of that, he's got Lullaby. So if Mosca gets out of position, which he probably is going to, because he's playing Tsukiyomi and he wants to put pressure and he wants to use his power spikes, if he gets out of position, then he's going to lose all his units to a Lullaby and to those Coyote Warriors diving in onto them. And onto this side, the Warrior Priest's distracting in as the Coyote Warriors diving forward. Not able to quite get the damage that he wanted as the Shogun is through, and that's going to be just immediately attacked. Doesn't get too much damage off as he's going to be pulling back. To the corner, we do have a random Miko getting some nice favor generation there. Miko is going to be getting that healing in as well. And Mosca still playing defense as Kuikakali training just about to come in. Now, for the moment here, Soup, I don't think he's got a single upgrade in terms of armor, but his Coyote Warriors are at 62% pierce armor. So they have a lot of survivability here versus those horse archers. Up onto the top, let's spot the shrine. As the Coyote Warriors coming up to the top here as well. They will spot a random Tengu. But that Tengu is like, well, those guys are too quick. 5.8 speed is incredibly fast for a counter archer infantry unit. That's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. Now we got the Ivory Netscape coming in. Aesthetic practices as well. Pre-queued as Coatlicue coming in. And now we're going to be seeing the Aratochli. We're going to have that String of Hearts tech. Big God Power as well to come through. There's a bunch of other stuff as well as one Coyote Warrior gets sniped. No Spearman just yet from Soup. He's very happy to just build these Ocelotl Warriors. They are technically a counter to the Naginata Riders, but they're a soft counter to the Naginata Riders, more so than anything else. Another option is to actually just sack villages and then go for another Tailwind, and you can dominate this fight. Onto the backside, coming in with the Coyote Warriors. In there is the New Moon as well as the Swampland, and Soup will retreat. Or run away, I should say, from the top. He's not even going back to his main base. On the backside, the Shinekwe is going to be getting taken out. And Mosca is looking for another engagement here as Soup says, all right, we can take this one. The Swampland is almost over as the units charge forward, trying to take everything. And there goes the Earth Monster as some revenge damage will be getting thrown in. Some units get out, some units do not, and they will get thrown straight back in to the meat grinder on this side. And I highly doubt they're going to be able to escape through this wall here as out they come. And Soup says, hello there, Sailor. I will kill all of your units. And Mosca almost doesn't even try to get out of here. The 10-pin bowling to keep them in as well. Huge revenge fire from Soup as Mosca, no more Swampland, no more timing attack. Soup still has Lullaby. Now, if he can get a good cast of this Lullaby off, I don't know what Mosca can do. Because Mosca's not building an army that can just kind of sit there for 10 seconds and take damage. It's gonna get brutalized. But that being said, Mosca is in a good spot. He's got 37 villages. He can put up a castle here. He can take the game slowly and try and play for a little bit later in the game. Tengu up onto this side is looking for villager picks as the warrior pieces. They are quick. 5.5 speed is faster than 5.3, so they should be able to catch up here, and especially with the rest of these units in to get some snaring off. Don't even need the snaring as the Tengu ends up falling. Another Tengu looking into the bottom side. Another Tengu coming into the middle here as well as Soup going to try and defend everything at once. Not easy to do. Mosca is really flexing that multiple attack groups shenanigans as the Eagle Warrior does end up going down. And the Warrior Priest will say, get out of here. I'll chase you down. No problems. That being said, look at this. There are 2 Ayatochlis. These things are strong. And now Soup reveals his presence. And in come the Ayatochlis. He's going to take out the first tower there. Potentially go after something else. Of course, Lullaby still in, so he can use that if he wants to make the attack actually work here. As in he goes onto this side. Lullaby onto the back line is also an option. And there he goes as the Coyote Warriors do manage to start taking down these units here. The Tengu is back in as well. Up onto this side, the Warrior Priest trying to chase in onto the Tengu Master as the Shogun has very little HP remaining. And the town center for Mosca is going to be getting taken down. That Shogun does stay alive with 62 HP. The Coyote Warriors are getting taken out, though. Samurai are in the mix, most likely from the Shogun. The town center, very little HP remaining. Will it be surviving, though? There is going to be another special to be used. And now, Soup, he's sitting in front on the military cost. He's killed the town center. We do have that Shogun is managing to get some Samurai out. That's huge here for Mosca, as the rest of the units from Soup are going to be falling. Is there enough stuff here? We've got some more Ocelotl Warriors to come through, as the Tajipla will get taken out, not before he gets a couple more shots off. And, well, more units to come through. But I think Soup's done the damage there to some degree. But now he has to figure out how he's going to be dealing with everything else. Turning around onto this side for another bit of a fight. There will be another Tailwind available, as the Tochli is going to be getting somewhat of a defense in. Eagle Warriors getting targeted down, as Mosca looks like now he's actually in the driver's seat. The difference in military is pretty close here, but there's still no real answer for those Samurai. That being said, it looks like there's just not enough of them, and Mosca has to pull back. Not only does Mosca have to pull back, but he's dropping his own town center. If that Tochli comes in, he can take it out. Not going for it, as the Naginata Riders are going to be coming up onto the top. And I've got to ask the question, why are there no spearmen being built? I'll tell you why. Well, Soup doesn't have a single war hut up. He's now throwing them down as he's like, I need something a little bit more effective to take these bad boys out. There's the Miko coming through for all those heals. The town center going down here basically equalized the villager differential. I mean, the problem for Soup is he did lose a lot of villagers, but I think he's been sacrificing them. Where is he up to on the sacrifice? No, he hasn't really been. He must have just been losing them to the raids, is the only real valid like answer. Reasonable answer. Walls coming up all over the place as well. As do we see spearmen is the big question. Soup does have to get some upgrades in for them. He still needs his heavy upgrades as well anyways from the Noble's Hut. The army charging back in. Those Coyote Warriors, not really too effective anymore. Only a handful of Yumi Horse Archers here. That being said, the Soup Ocelotl Warriors, they're going to be going hard. If Soup can utilize these trees and then dive out of it, which he can do, he gets so much bonus damage here on this fight. He's feeling like he can actually take the fight as the Tochli comes through, rolls into the main base, and go after the town center again. Onto the backside, though, the Eagle Warriors, they're getting chased down, and there goes the Earth Monster. After all is said and done, Soup sacked a bunch of villagers to make that happen there. Can he win the fight, though, after all is said and done? 3K versus 3K units are falling. The Tochli here is the main amount of assistance that Soup actually has in these fights. And now Mosca says, I'm getting out of here, as another Tochli to come through. Big amounts of favor getting spent from Soup. He really does need. It's another 10-pin bowling maneuver does come in. He really needs some spearmen. They are in queue now, though. But do they even have a single upgrade? They don't, as medium war hut soldiers will come through. Again, another 10-pin bowling hits, but the Eagle Warriors will end up falling here. 3.3k to 2k, and Soup's army just not cutting the mustard, as it were. And Soup there says, the game is lost. Don't believe the game is lost, but he says it is. He doesn't have any resources in the bank. I think this one was literally just not recognizing that he needed to get some war huts down. If he had replaced some of those Ocelotl Warriors with some Tlaumani spearmen, then all of a sudden, these Naginata Riders, which are really strong, stop being so strong. Now, after the first fight that was, right? Once all of that first fight happened and the Yumi Horse Archers stopped being a thing, then he needed those spearmen. But Mosca, resilient as always. He took a real big beating in this game, lost a lot of units. But Soup just could not convert here. And Mosca strikes back. So we've got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen, 1-1. Let's jump back to the draft and see what we're going to see for game number 3. Alrighty, so our next game is going to be a Hades versus Noir game on the map Ghost Lake. On the map Ghost Lake. Now, this is very, very interesting. So Ghost Lake and Hades versus Noir ends up being... There was a time where this used to be heavily favoring Hades, like unplayable levels of favoring Hades. But I'm not sure that that's... I'm not sure that that's really the case anymore. Like, Hades has had a couple of nerfs. But then again, there's still this strat that's really strong with the there is this strat that's really strong with the fortress and siege and things like that. That being said, I think you've got a classical fight angle here as the Noir. Then again, you might need to play for that heroic age sort of angle as well. Well, this is going to be really, really interesting. I think this might be the first time we've seen Hades thus far in this main event as a pick on land. We've seen him a couple of times on water and having a lot of success. The first time on land. So Mosca, well, he's gonna have his work cut out for him, I think. I think Soup's got a very, very strong well, Soup's got a very, very strong China, just in general. Let's jump in to Ghost Lake and see what's going to happen. Alrighty, off to the races into game number 2. Ghost Lake is the map. 1 gold mine Ghost Lake as well here for Mosca. Now, I don't know exactly how much he cares about this. The map is spawned with some decent gold mines on both sides here. You've got the 3 gold mines on the bottom side. You've got 3 gold mines on the top. Excuse me, 4 gold mines on the bottom side. 4 gold mines on the top side. But Mosca, he's going to have something planned here. He's been prioritizing, the Greeks in his drafting thus far. Like, without question, he's been, let's play Greek. He's been winning with Poseidon. That's a given. He's a Poseidon god. He just knows how to play it. But the Hades, the Zeus, they've been a consistent in his draft. He's been happily taking them. And I don't think anybody else is seeing what he's seeing at the moment. So we might be shown in this next game here exactly why he's so happy to play the Greeks in these drafts. Soup, on the other hand, well, let's just say his China is looking scary. Because it is. I mean, there's not really much else to say other than his China is looking scary. So we'll see what he's actually going to be able to pull out as he puts a Kwafu onto food for some reason. He will obviously be taking that off momentarily, but it might just be for a little bit. This could be part of his plan. I doubt it. He needs to get over onto the wood here, as he's going to go for Hal 2. Nope, Juan Nu is the god of choice. And we'll see how it's all going to go. This is a very, very spicy situation. Now, if we take a quick look at the scouting, Soup has spotted everything on the bottom side, starting to learn about what's happening on the top side as well. Sees his town center here, sees the back berries, sees a gold mine. There's also a little bit of hunt in the way of wolves and things that he could probably drag underneath the town center and eat for free if he wants to. But here's the thing from Mosca. I wouldn't be surprised on this map if Mosca goes a little bit crazy. Just a little bit crazy. And what I mean by that, Barstroic ideas, some sort of myth unit idea, maybe Ares, underworld ideas. There's a lot of opportunity for shenanigans. So we'll see what shenanigans he's going to pick, as he does pick Athena. And then from there, us as the spectator, we're going to have to start guessing what he actually wants to do. Both pickaxe and hand axe are queued up. And this generally only points to one thing. It points to Mosca wanting to play a one town center game. Meanwhile, up onto this side, Soup says, I'll take this town center. It's fine. It's not the best of town centers, but it is fine. He's got back hunt here, which does get scouted by Mosca. And Mosca doesn't cancel the pickaxe or the hand axe, so he definitely wants what he wants here, which is some sort of aggression. As Soup is attempting to pump out Kwafu, though he's a little short on the gold. I'm not sure what his plan was there. He's got idle town center time. Trying to force drop the gold in to get that next Kwafu in. A little bit of missed macro, unfortunately, but Soup gets his town center up. He can send the Kwafu hero forward. Maybe drop a wall immediately. Wouldn't be a terrible idea here. And then send the rest of those villagers up to the top. That'd probably be his best bet. Chariot of Sibel is in. Meanwhile, over onto the left side, going to be grabbing that hunt. And we see an archery range. And we see a stable from Mosca. Mosca, this is something that I would not expect from him. This is not his style in the slightest. He likes to play a defensive game. He likes to play a booming game. He doesn't like to play a one town center all in. But dropping both the stable and the archery range and the chillin comes in and scouts it. Well, now Soup, he's going to have to be careful here because he is pumping Kwafu and there is a big weakness here for Soup. And that weakness is every Kwafu he builds is an extra, well, a villager. Sorry, not a villager. It's 100 gold that he can't spend on army. So he's going to have to cut those Kwafu at some point here to make sure that he can get an army out. Also, not going for this middle or this forward gold mine here. I don't like that fact here in the slightest. He should be on here already. He can pull the Kwafu back later. Maybe a wall up as well can cause some problems there too. As Mosca says, okay, if you're gonna do all of that nonsense, you can take that town center and you're not gonna go for the earth wall, fine. I am going to put the pressure on. Now, a little bit of secret moves here as well in these sorts of situations for Soup would be a quick divine books, and that allows you to get even more like output here, even more infrastructure going. Like you get the military camp attachment, and then those units can train very, very quickly. As Soup is playing some good defense thus far, hasn't really lost anything. Up onto this, excuse me, never mind. Minotaur, that's Minotauring along. As the Chillin going to try and get over here. This villager going to go down. This villager as well going to be going down as the Chillin gets a little bit of revenge damage off. Trying to heal that one back up. And it looks like the Minotaur, that's going to go down. But 2 villager kills, if not even more. Absolutely huge. As now Soup going to be dropping almost another halberdier. Great control from Mosca. Great damage from Mosca thus far. But is it going to be enough is the big question. Behind all of this, Aphrodite, that's pre-queued. So this whole strat from Mosca is all about put pressure on, force out the halberdier, and also don't drop too many units, but get heroic age behind this. We'll see if he's going to cut any units here or not. As Soup pulls back underneath this town center. The Chillin will get chased down. Will end up going down. Restoration coming through here as well. As Soup going to be dropping himself Vanish. Trying to chase the units out over here. He can decide to fight again if he wants to, but does not want to. And Mosca is out of there. As the Javelin getting little bits of damage done. It's a little bit more Vanish. I'm still not liking that Soup isn't on this gold mine just yet. Like, of course, if he comes forward, it's sort of painful, but if he gets a military camp set up on the high ground, he can get the tower attachment, he could be mining that gold mine. So much more time here in this game. So Javelin control looking quite nice here from Soup, though the Halberdiers decide they want to chase after that Mosca. Better control from Mosca there, as Soup has to pull back to his town center. He's struggling on the food situation here. He does have goats. So many Kwafu is the problem, and this is often an issue inside of this strategy that Soup is trying to make work here. But the temple will fall. All of those relics will fall. There were some good ones. Arrow of Heracles, Buller's Bow, Eye of Horus. Soup will surely pick those all up as the Watchtowers comes through. But look at this, the gold mine, 500 remaining. Behind this, Aphrodite is coming through for Mosca. Dude, this strategy, or this build, this execution from a macro standpoint from Mosca is just out of this world. Literally just out of this world. He is executing amazingly here. The question is going to be, is it going to matter or not? Because guess what Soup's got? Mountainous Might defense here is something that is absolutely terrifying to try and break through. It just is. You can get himself he's already got it. You get yourself survival equipment, Mountainous Might, and send all your Kwafu to this gold mine, and they will be able to do some real damage. Nonetheless, more units coming in as Mosca looking to put the pressure on, and that is the villager movement from Mosca. Forward Fortress, Sentinels, we've seen it time and time again. Soup could abandon this position, give up the town center, give up these military camps, rebuild elsewhere, but look at this fortress from Mosca. He just doesn't even care. He's like, I'll just put it in your face. This is fine. The tower's gonna see this. There's the Goaty, what are they called? Pioneers. Put the relics back into the temple. And now Soup, he might get baited into forcing or taking a fight here. There is a couple of really strong god powers available as the Halberdiers get that damage done. In come the Kwafu here. They can take out villagers so quickly. Yep. One throw and they go down, as this is not going to be going too well for Mosca at all. And remember, he's idled the villagers as well. Mosca's going to lose everything. If he snuck it up on this side, it would have been a different story. The Kwafu under attack. These Kwafu, they don't even... One dies and the rest of these units are falling. A huge defense from Soup. Absolutely gigantic. And not only that, Soup wanted to move on to this gold mine anyway. As now we see Reincarnation is in queue. I was saying he should stop getting those Kwafu because he needs more gold for military, but turns out the Kwafu are the military. Oxodi's going down behind this one machine workshop up. That's probably going to be a tower, I'd have to imagine, a tower attachment, and this gold mine is now secured. Mosca can still try and put a fortress down over here, can still try and go for his sort of fortress Petropolis movement. Peltas starting to come through. Is there a tower attachment? Yes, there is. So it's going to be a little bit more damage to come in from Soup, a little bit more defense. But the longer this sort of situation that Soup has managed to get himself into lasts, the better it is for Soup. Mosca, 1 town center, 36 villages to 68. 3.5k military is good, but he needs to make something happen with it. And, I mean, what can he really do? The Kwafu coming through. Gonna throw some boulders in. Good control from Mosca here. Does Soup have himself an armory? I don't think he has an armory, so he doesn't have that ballistics as the Nemean Lions coming forward. Nice control yet again there from Mosca, trying to dodge all of those Javelineer shots. But the front line is falling. Those Nemean Lions, they're doing some big work here, however. And Soup does need to control those Halberdiers just that little bit better. Soup on the pullback now as well. Not ideal. He's lost a lot of units, but he's still got his defense sorted. He can still get more units. He's got plenty of income. Onto the top side, the HUSKSUPPE on patrol between all the gold mines there just to make sure he doesn't lose anything. Soup needs an armory ASAP here. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe someone in chat can tell me. If you get ballistics, does that apply to the Kwafu as well? I think it does, right? Nonetheless, Javelineers versus Peltas. There's just so many Javelineers in. I mean, even if the Peltas win the fight, the Peltas don't even do anything. Is the other sort of thought for the moment, but see another machine works immediately coming up as the Kwafu starting to come in, going to be helping out. They do so much damage here as the Javelineers do manage to get on top of those Hippiasts. Now got the HUSKSUPPE coming in as well, but Mosca is pushed back for another time here. And now look at the queue for Soup. I was like, he's got no units. Well, look at the queue. Please get this tech. Just not even the tech. Just click the button. There's one thing that I don't like for my own gameplay, and I try to avoid. It's a queue that looks like that. Put more buildings down, or get the attachments or whatever. Up to the top side, villagers coming through. There is the HUSKSUPPE that's going to be able to scout that. Does Mosca see it? Well, there are some Hippiasts coming up. They've got somewhat of an idea. They are chasing up to here, so they will be noticing this, and well, Soup's going to be losing some peasants, so that's a must-needed win for Mosca. Of course, Soup could just turn around and start shanking this, but he's gonna probably better off would be to just look for a fight. Any reaction from Soup? Now he does decide to turn around. Bit of a shank, and the micro from Mosca. He's so switched on with these cav. And Soup says, hey, if you're up there, try and deal with my units. I've got so much. He can 100% take this fight. Yes, there's a pacifist here, but he's got so much more stuff. There's a couple of fire archers in as well. More fire archers would not go astray here for Soup, so he can actually deal with them. But Soup will pull back up onto this position, and he's going to try and take the fight again. The Kwafu can help out. As the Javelineers taking out the back line nicely. Allow the fire archers to get that damage done. As now the Hippiasts moving over onto this food situation. Even if Soup loses all these villages, though, that's 12. He's still in front by so much on the economy here. And Soup can probably even take this town center next if he wants to as well. As the peasants will turn, peasants will shank, and the Hippiasts will run. More Hippiasts up to the top, however. There's now Fey Beast, or Rushol is coming with those Fey Beasts, and that's going to be even more terror for Mosca to deal with. On top of that, 104 favor for Baihu and upgrades immediately. That's huge. Soup going to be looking to find some sort of damage over on the left side. The sides against it going to pull back as the army is starting to march forward to try and hit this gold yet again. But the villagers are attacked, and Soup will split up his halberdiers to try and deal with this. But that's a big amount of units there. Now he's going up. He does have a Achilles, though. That's going to be somewhat of an issue as the peasants come in onto this position. We've got the town center attempting to come through. Does get denied. And Mosca notices this, loses 2 Hippias, gets away, but now the army is back in to defend. Soup's at full population. He's going to have a Fey Beast that he can drop on top of those Peltasts or on top of those Haspists or just anywhere. Doesn't really matter. There's not a God Power in for Mosca to help him out. And Soup is ready to go. Rush not in just yet. I guess Soup a little bit too overzealous on that fight as the Halberdiers finally getting in to be a little bit of an assistance here. Soup retreating. Mosca feeling like he's got somewhat of an advantage here as now the Fey Beast gets dropped down. Got to be careful. Got to stay away from those. Heroes. Doesn't actually manage to finish off the Peltast on the backside, and Mosca wins a fight yet again. And Soup is going to have to come up onto the top. Villagers finished up on this gold mine. Well, there's still an army for Soup. If he wants to use these guys, he can, but he needs more gold. That was not the fight that he wanted to take. He should have been winning that fight, but he went that little bit too early. That's the town center on the top trying to come up. 27 seconds. We do see the Hippias charging in there as Soup's going to say, all right, if you kill that, it's fine. I'm going to take this town center next anyways. And onto the position to take the fight yet again. We do have the upgrades coming through. Javelineers queued up. A lot of Javelineers queued up as the Pioneers need to take down the Nemean Lion. The Baihu fell to the Achilles there. And the front line looks to be a little bit too much as the villagers continuing to take this. That Nemean Lion roar was huge. And Soup drops the Vanish. He drops the Vanish to finish the town center off. Huge. Pushes back in onto this spot. And, I mean, another town center can come down. Upgrade situation. Soup is missing himself a couple of those heroic age upgrades. Mosca, on the other hand, he is fine on economic upgrades. But just because you're in front on tech, if you're behind on numbers, tech doesn't matter. Hippias coming through. Looking for a raid. Gong is the god of choice for the Mythic Age there for Soup. I think in this sort of a position, and most positions when I'm playing at the moment now, I am liking Zhurong over Gong. But Gong is always going to be good for Soup on Noir. Allows him to go into those Tiger Cav and can be very, very powerful. But Soup taking his time here. More Baihu coming in. Villagers over here trying to get the walls up, trying to keep everything safe here. They get sent packing. They're going to jump back into the town center as another villager going down as the Zom comes up onto this side. Fortress in. Surely we're going to see... It looks like... Okay, Mosca doesn't even care about a town center. He sees Hephaestus and he goes, well, if there's a way for me to get to an army that Soup's never going to be able to kill, surely we just go Hephaestus and it's going to be straight up to full iron. He's already got the favor in for another restoration, so a full population, full army, one town center Hades might be nigh unkillable for Soup in this type of position. Soup needs to get himself to full iron himself. Heroic Age is going to be on the way after this ballet is finished. The raid's coming through up onto this side. Soup does need to react to that. Mosca is incredibly active with these cavalry while this is all going on. Finish off the ballet, and he can even drop the town center as well, but there will be potentially catapults coming in or Metropolis coming in as the villagers here will pull back. And some damage to come through from the town center to finish off these Hippias, and Soup is going to be fine here as this young Xia chasing them down. While this is all going on, you take a look at the sort of gold control situation here. If Soup gets this ballet up and this walled off, he's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gold mines more total than Mosca. Well, 6 total, maybe not 6, 4 total. 4 more gold mines. Soup's main base is open to attack as well. Does he have crenellations? Not just yet. Armory situation. Now getting all those upgrades in. Mosca will have his Hephaestus momentarily. It's the Baihu coming in. Takes down the wall. Takes down the villager building the wall and pushed off of this gold mine. This is the last gold mine here for Mosca. That's really dangerous. Mosca's got a market in the corner wanting to be built. But a 4th town center now for Soup. All the resources in the world for Soup as well. For more buildings, more damage, more control. We'll see if Mosca can bring himself back in this game or not. To be completely honest, if he were, I'd be incredibly surprised. His attack got big brain defended. He hasn't really been able to get any significant eco damage done. Soup's so far in front in this position. And there's a big god power coming. Look at the military here. He's got so many resources in the bank. As he decides to charge forward, you have to be thinking about the Great Flood here, but he decides no. Now drops it down after the fight has just a little bit. In fact, he's sending the units away from his army, which is normally not what you see. Fortress going to be going down here, and then this gold mine to boot is going to be the next one. Up onto the top side, however, the Colossus is in, trying to open up this spot, trying to get this gold mine to get grabbed for a little bit later. Full iron is about to hit for Mosca, but does he have enough stuff after the dust settles for that to all be a possibility? Now, Tiger Cav also on the way. Last stand coming through from Soup as well. In come the axe carts. Not only that, we've got the Kwafu coming. They're going to say, hello there, Sentinel. We're going to take you down. They do so much damage. Of course, he just wants to drop a ballet onto this position, but Soup still doesn't have himself at full population. I don't know if he just doesn't want to build the Dow Swordsman at the moment or what. Does have some pretty strong ones. But up to the top side. Colossus going after this. Needs some heroes up there as well. Wafu onto the gold mine. The villagers are going to attempt to make him a runaway here as the Qinglong misses everything. Big damage onto villagers. When you're on one town center, he's on 2 town centers now, but when you're on one town center, losing those villagers is kind of a big deal. But Soup, he is finding himself in this weird position where he's just, again, not building units. He finally wakes up, and there's the queue in. 6 Tiger Cav, all the Dows in incredibly quickly. Another fortress coming in onto this spot as the wall is up, and that means the donkey caravans are going to be getting prevented as the fortress gets targeted down by the siege crossbow here for the time being. In onto this position. Big damage from the Qinglong as Mosca didn't even want to retreat out of it, but Mosca says, okay, the game is done. I don't have any gold anymore. I can't get myself to that full population army. Didn't even want to try and use the restoration and make something happen there as he taps out. I mean, this here was an impeccable defense from Soup. Mosca just didn't have the foresight that he needed to be a little bit more sneaky with that fortress. Placing it right in front of Soup. That was the question mark maneuver. Right in front of this base, he places it, and, well, what's going to happen is you send 6 or 7 villagers forward. Your opponent's got all the villagers themselves. As a 2TC player, they can just use those to fight, and then you're in deep doo-doo. You're in deep doo-doo. Well, Soup now 1 win away from the finals. Playing an immaculate series so far, but Mosca, he's a player, you already seen it once in this series. He's a player that just does not die. Still got a chance to win this series. We'll see if he can do it. Let's jump back to the draft, see what game 4 is going to bring us. All right, our next map looks like it's going to be on the map. I'm going to guess it's Mirage. There isn't a Mirage. There's a Budapest. I'm going to guess it's Budapest. Because it's a Zeus versus Loki. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite. So we'll see how this is going to go. But this has been a matchup that we've seen Soup very happy to play a lot of. But we've also seen players like Kavoth having a lot of success with Zeus versus Norse on these types of maps. Guys, if you're going to jump into my chat and start complaining about balance, you got to remember that this specific game we just saw was a perfect defense to a cheese strat. So whatever you're saying is just like completely unrelated, right? That's right. Let's talk about the next one. Zeus versus Loki. Zeus versus Loki is the next one. I have something in my eye, it feels like. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see what's going to happen in this next game. So Zeus versus Loki on Budapest. The big things here is that, well, Soup gets to play how he wants to play. Soup gets to play how he wants to play. He likes the Heimdall. He likes to play for the building spam. Works really nicely on Budapest versus Zeus. But Zeus gets to take the buildings down really easily with the hoplites. That being said, recently, the way that Norse has been changed, it's kind of changed the dynamic in the matchup quite a bit, in my opinion. Used to be the best sort of unit composition to beat an army comp of like Hursa, Toxote, Hursa Thrown Axeman and Raiding Cavalry was some sort of hoplite Toxote mix. Now, I don't believe that's 100% the case. I think it's fine to build some Toxotes, but you don't really want to go into them right away. It's better to go for hoplites, Hippias, Hypaspis, Peltast, Prodromus as the kind of units you want in this matchup before you get into like later stages of the game with all Toxote upgrades starting to get applied. So we'll see if Mosca is on the same wavelength here. That being said, if that's the case and I'm right about this, I feel like Hermes is the right call here. You get access to what am I saying? Hermes is the way to play. I think you get access to a defense against flaming weapons. You get access to the stronger Hippias to take out Thrown Axeman. You can still build hoplites with Zeus. They're really quite good. And all that other good stuff. No, I love Hades, John. I just don't like the PvE game plan from Hades. Like, don't put words into my mouth in that chat. I will. If the Hades player wants to sit back and do nothing and then get wins, that's not okay. That's what I don't like. I love the aggressive Hades. I love the Ares, Apollo, Underworld with Toxotes Hades. I love all of that other, like, I love that strategy that Mosca just played. That was really entertaining. Didn't work, but it was really entertaining. Won't put words in my mouth. Let's get into the next game. In onto the map, Budapest. Let's check it out. Alrighty, in the left-hand corner of the map, we've got Zeus for Mosca. And in the right-hand corner of the map, we've got Loki for Soup. We are on the map Budapest as both players do decide to go up to the left side of the map to drop that first dock. Mosca's going forward for 2 docks here on both sides to start up his fishing ship adventures. The only issue with this is he's only going to be able to afford to build fish from one side. So there's not any super big advantages here for Mosca to grab from getting those docks down immediately. And Soup could swing down to the bottom side and drop his second dock here and claim these fishing spots if he wants. But he's taking the more safer approach onto the backside, drop the dock here, and then get the fish, and probably look to put some heavy pressure onto this top position. That seems to be the case for what Soup's plan is. Now, Mosca, on the other hand here, Mosca is going to be probably looking for, I have to imagine, some sort of classical fight, with then going into the heroic age for a big death ball of either Minotaur, Centaur, Hydra, potentially also Manticore on the cards here. Normally bronze is just like such a big god power, so strong, so powerful on this type of map, but there is this world where going for Apollo is also incredibly effective to catch out the Norse player as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. We've got some relics over onto the side of the map. We've got the Canopic Jar of Imseti, infantry, train time minus 25%. Up onto the top side, there is the Arrows of the Alpha, just damage and melee attack and range attack plus 15%. Over onto this side, we have the Tower of Cestus, which is damage bonus against myth units plus 1x for the sentry towers there. And then finally, we have the Hummingbird's Beak, damage against infantry plus 10%. That one's really, really nice here for Mosca, because he's going to be wanting to build those hoplites, and he might be able to, well, hoplites already beat berserks, right? If you get an extra 10% bonus damage there, then it starts being, not only do they beat berserks, but they also beating berserks on resource cost as well, I would guess. But nonetheless, he has to spot that, and he has not spotted it just yet. So we'll see what's going to happen where that's concerned, but the docks are up now. The fishing ships are coming through. Soup did manage to get himself 5 spots over here, so that's a nice win for him, as Mosca is going to start working towards these positions. And sooner or later, the temple's already up for Soup, so he's going to be advancing quickly, and I have to imagine he is looking for the dock grab on this left side. Now, it is at this point that I bring up that once upon a time, there was a man named Recon, and he was playing Loki on this map, and he had an opportunity to show this strategy off, and I thought, this strategy is so good, so strong, so smart. And it was a Berserk Narok. Relatively quick advance, early Berserk Narok, charge into your opponent's base, put full pressure on there, get huge villager kills. It really caught out. I can't remember who he was playing with. I think it might have been Tunison. Caught him off guard in a big way. But was that more of a one-off type thing, or is that something that's just going to work all the time? Is that one of Soup's options? Does Soup know about it? I don't know. He's going Heimdall, though. He is going Heimdall. And we see another dock up onto the top side. I also wouldn't mind seeing like something kind of cute here from Soup. Could be to drop a wall down on this side so he can put pressure on, and it's hard for Mosca to actually get up and defend that. Meanwhile, Heimdall in for Soup. So coming through, we got the Ironry coming on. We got the Great Hall. We got the Longhouse on the way too. Got the Longhouse coming in for Soup, as it's just full spammage at the start. There will be a couple of boats onto the top side, so an immediate dragon ship to push Mosca off of this position. And I think Mosca, to some degree here, he can just give that up. He doesn't need to fight this. He maybe you build one Pentacontra or something, but defending this water for the time being, considering he's already got this position, it's not that important. Ironry gets bolted. That's actually kind of a win there for Soup, because now no bolt onto a mountain giant or no bolt onto a battle ball a little bit later, where that's going to be a little bit more of an issue. As the Pentacontra is in, but Dock and throwing Axeman should be enough actually here to deal with all that. And a second boat, so all the units are going to take this down. We do have the Jason coming up to the top. Buildings now starting. Mosca pretty behind the 8-ball on getting units out. He wants a heroic agent as fast as he possibly can. Literally as fast as he possibly can. Dock going to go down. Up onto the top side. There is a Pentaconta here, but that's going to get picked off. This dock's going to be going down, and Soup will claim the rest of this fish for himself, at least for the time being. Where to next is the big question to the main base, though. The Minotaur sneaks in. It's always a sneaky Minotaur, as, well, the Hurso will be in, and that's going to be putting an end to said Minotaur. 4.8 speed is bigger than 4.5 speed. As these villagers on the wood line, well, he gets sent back. And this villager here, I think, is fine. I don't think it's stuck, so all good. I mean, even if it was stuck, this oak tree's got 11 left in it, so it's going to be able to get out of there. Anyways, more houses to come through, and Safeguard coming in. Damage. I wouldn't really say damage is done here from Soup. He just secured what Mosca already had secured, which is his side of the water. Now there's Dionysus coming in. Now there's a Pacifist, and there's Peltast. I was talking about how you kind of need Hippias to deal with throwing Axemen now as Zeus, as the Athena player. But, you kind of need that, but if you get to the heroic age, you can just make Peltast. Peltast and Hoplite, Peltast, Hoplite, and Pacifist is perfectly fine. Spy does get dropped down onto the gold villages, so Soup knows what's going on. And town center in the middle is kind of wild. Now, of course, the difficulty here for Mosca, the thing that Mosca is going to want to do, well, he wants to put a fortress up in the center of the map. This is the great game plan to some degree, and that's not going to be possible here if Soup has full line of sight of the map, which he can get by getting eyes in the forest. He's got himself the undermines. All he has to do is scout where that fortress is going up, and he's going to be having a great game. But this Ford Town Center, I get it. He's got the units forward already, so why not just build it there? But this does allow Mosca to go main base sieging. As the hoplites coming up to the top side, they will see the town center, and that should send some alarm bells off for Mosca as, okay, well, what do I do now? He's got 63 favor. He can pump out a whole bunch of Hydra if he wants, but he does need to pick off those Hursa as well, or micro really hard in the fight to take out those Hursa at the start. Up to the top side, hoplites going for the dock or looking for raids. Bragi behind this for Soup. That's the raiding cavalry sneaking over here. Wall does get thrown up. Nice play there from Mosca. Is Soup will not be allowed in, but there is a villager down to the bottom as that villager is going to be making a run for it. That's cute. That's very cute. The raiding cavalry should be able to get in and get a little bit of damage done as Mosca trying to bring his hoplites down to the bottom. The hoplites up the top have been sent away here. Another villager going down. And Soup out of here for the time being. Little bits of damage done. I mean, the villager differential is stark right now. Mosca needs to make something happen here. Mosca absolutely needs to make something happen. Like, he's falling behind, like, drastically at the moment. Well, more buildings for Soup. He's in a good spot. We got the Great Halls coming up onto the top. We do have those Tower Cestus coming back as TSM player. What's going on, my friend? Hoplites going into the main base, and now the Hydras will start to come through for Mosca. Like I said, this Death Ball idea for Zeus is the main power point for this god. If you can get to 175 pop, Bronze Restoration, it's going to be strong. Soup for the moment, though, goes, well, I mean, the sort of counter to the big Death Ball is to have something huge to throw back at it, like a Nidhogg, like a whole bunch of myth units yourself, some disengage tools. Hoplites coming in for some raids, though, as Soup is pulling back to try and deal with that. It's the hill fort. up onto the middle there. And now the Hydra say, the pacifists say, it's time to go. Military differential is very heavily in favor of Mosca right now. He gets another Hydra out and pre-queues in that Chthonic Riots as the hill fort on this side. I think that's just going to go down. Even if Soup finishes this off, it's probably going to fall pretty quickly afterwards. 3 seconds remaining, 2 seconds remaining. Heroes in, Godi coming through. There's Peltas, there's a Paspis. This army is looking very, very strong for Mosca. Is it going to be enough, though, is the big question. Town center on the front here might also be falling. Soup probably needs to consider to just sacrifice it. I bring this up so many times, but he's up 20 villagers. He doesn't need to fight. He just needs to get his army sorted. But he's not. He's looking for the fight right now. Flaming weapons gets dropped. Bronze will get dropped as well. An ironry comes in, and Soup now says, all right, no worries, let's run. This is good idea from Soup. Force that trade out. It was going to be a trade anyways. And he can look for something else, maybe some other little bits of fights with the town center. That's going to be going down here. Soup's 200 gold in the bank. He's got plenty of villagers on gold, but no food to spend, or nothing to spend that food on, I should say. This Chthonic Rites is in now, and you can see those Hydras. They get HP back really quickly. I think that's been buffed recently as the hoplites coming up to the top side. Soup's going to have to run out of this position. Now he says time for another bit of a fight over here. Flaming Weapons does finish up, and not going to be winning those fights either for the moment. Berserk's getting converted over here, and that's what Mosca wants to see to some degree. Of course, if he just kills the village, it's the best, but if he's forcing out the Berserk conversions there, life is good. But the big problem for Soup is he's got 100 favor in the bank now and no way to spend it. There's no mountain giants, there's no Valks, there's no trolls, he's got no gold. Well, he does have it now. Charging in to take the fight at this point, however, there will be a restoration as well, which hits both angles up to the top. The Peltats coming in, going to be taking those ones out. And Mosca breaks through and is in a commanding position right now. The Hydra are dominating. Let's have a quick look at their damage. There's only 3 left, but look at that 5,000, 6,000 damage. Hoplites are also, that's 25 hoplites doing a similar amount of damage to those Hydra. That's how you know these things are doing work. Whole bunch of Berserks coming through for Soup as he's going to attempt the impossible here, which is defending as Norse. Units just getting cleaned up slowly. 3-headed Hydra, 2-headed Hydra, 2-headed Hydra. You're going to be getting more heads very quickly. Buildings going down up onto this side there as well as Soup ready to charge forward. Ursa getting that damage number. Look at that control from Mosca. Just a little mini flick back. And all of those Ursa are going to be getting taken down so quickly as the Hydras are just going to be doing damage. 3 heads now, and that is game number 4 in the books. Nothing between these two players. But Mosca does strike back, shows the way with Zeus, makes those Hydra, and that is a terrifying amount of units that he had to deal with. It looked okay for Soup. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the idea here from Soup was great, but the plan really needed to be force that bronze, run, get all your infrastructure back up behind, just take the L on the buildings. It's fine. You're up 20 plus villages. They're going to pay for it anyway. Then get your military in and then look for the fight a little bit later. There's a restoration to get through as well, but you can play backwards on this map really, really far. But Soup, he didn't want to do that. He tried to take the fight when it just wasn't going to be working for him. And Mosca, he's got a game 5 now. Let's jump back into the drafting menu and see what they're going to pick. One last game to see who gets their first real chance at this ticket to Athens. our last map is going to be Giza. And it is going to be a Gaia versus Shennong map. So we already saw this once. I saw Soup playing an amazing, I think it was Fushi versus Tunison's Gaia, and absolutely dominated it. But this is Shennong. It's a different kettle of fish. Works a little differently. There's a lot more going on with Shennong in this situation. Map's also a different situation too. And Mosca, a different player than Tunison. Tunison, much more aggressive, much more willing to throw his weight around and try and win a game in a very short amount of time. So we'll see what Mosca's got cooking up here. Now, I say this every single time to the point that I've probably cursed it. I want to see some Leto here. Leto makes sense against China. It just makes sense in general right now. I think it is a little bit of a step up in strength than Oceanus at the moment. It used to be kind of close, but now I think that the Oceanus is just a little bit weaker. So I want to see Mosca trying something a little bit different. Let's jump into game 5. One final game. Remember, if your favorite player ends up losing, it's fine. You get to see them 4 more times. We got playoff 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming at you over the next couple of weeks. Let's jump into game number 5 on the map Giza and see who is going to be moving on to the finals. And off we go into game number 5. Mosca, Gaia. Soup, Shennong. The map, a defensive one. Double Rhino, town center, gold mines behind it. This close town center as well. Not the end of the world here. If Soup wants to play how to, he can drop that here. He can play in this position with the earth wall. He can be on this gold mine early. Can work for Soup. Mosca, on the other hand, either way, I think that a Leto approach here from Mosca makes so much sense. Whether you play 2 TC, whether you play 1 TC, makes so much sense. No matter what, I think you got to stay classical age here. This is something that I am nearly convinced of. Nearly. Maybe I might at some point I might get see a game that proves me completely wrong. But if the Atlantean player doesn't play defense, doesn't play army, doesn't try and like do things in the classical age, then a Shennong player who goes 2 TC classical fight can just go straight through that Gaia player and win the game with a big timing attack. It's very, very tough to defend that if you're not going to be building units. So, a nice second town center is fine, but build units for Mosca. We'll see if he's going to go that route. Town center-wise for Mosca, he's also got the same situation with the rhinos and the gold here, but this is close to Soup. This is very, very close to Soup. So Soup will have to, if he wants to come over here, we'll run over to here, and he'll be right in front to be putting pressure onto this position as well. Now, how to is the got a choice here for Soup. I don't really mind this. I think Lightning Weapons is a little bit more solid, but he's probably a little worried about the Leto that's not coming, as it is Caster's Curse. Doesn't matter how many times I say it. Tried to say it a million times. It's just not going to be coming through. Mosca says Oceanus is the god of choice. And to some degree here, this is fine for Mosca because it's not Chi Yao from Soup. Chi Yao is a difficult thing to deal with. How to? I mean, we're just playing a boom, right? We're playing a defensive game. And well, Mosca's gonna love playing defense. That's what he loves doing. This is his whole thing. So if his opponent says, "Hey, I'm gonna play the defensive minor god," well, Mosca's just gonna say, "Fantastic. Let's take this game about 30 minutes to 40 minutes long, and just see how it's gonna go." Alrighty, how to is in. Citizens are coming up to the top. Soup here for the moment. He does see the gold over here, so he knows what to do. There's also the double rhinos here, but basically it's just build a house about here, and then earth wall, and then he's good to go. On the flip side, from Mosca, he's not playing defense in the slightest. He wants to play offense here, and Soup drops the earth wall around his main base. This is a little bit wild. I can't say that I'm a big fan of this from Soup. But he's going to wait. He's going to see what's happening. Never mind. It's going to be a town center from Mosca. He's making his way over here. Does Soup see it? Answer is no. He does not spot the citizens going for the town center. The bait of seeing a military barracks, potentially also seeing a Mamilo here as well, that can make things very, very confusing for Soup. Why? Well, Mosca, it looks like he's playing some one town center aggression. You see the military barracks get dropped down. You go, oh, okay, he's playing one town center. You stop caring about scouting because all you need to do is play defense and you win the game, right? That's the general gist of it. But if you don't scout and you don't see that delayed second town center, which generally isn't that good, then all of a sudden the Gaia player is going to get through everything. They're going to go to the Mythic Age and they're going to get past all of those weak points in this game where you can potentially get some real damage done. We do see a machine workshop coming through for Soup at the moment, as he is still pumping out those villages, those Kwafu. He's not onto his second gold mine just yet. And shaft mine now coming through for Mosca. And we'll see if Soup is going to be able to figure this out. Now, I do think still a big classical fight here is going to be working for Soup. But equally, he can just play a small amount of defense and play for the late game as well, because Shenong versus Gaia, late game, it's kind of close. It's winnable. It's winnable for both. Both gods have got a lot of strength there. Another Cheongchi is coming through as the units are starting to mass up. A bit surprised on this from the Superstar. No attacks coming through from Mosca in the slightest. And, well, the game is going to be off to the races very, very slow. Very, very slow. Goat's getting into the main base as well already from Mosca. He's already got himself the husbandry. He's already got himself shaft mine. Missing that bow saw, but he wants a heroic age in. And this like adaptation or this sort of bait, whatever you want to call it, from Mosca has sent Soup down a path that I don't like in the slightest. A second Cheongchi, no extra buildings, late to the heroic age as well, not over on this next gold mine, no wall set up. The Sky Lantern comes through, sees the main base, sees 0 units. Now the Cheongchi is going to come through, and that's going to be revealing finally that the town center is up. Of course, Soup doesn't see this Gaia Lush until he actually sees it. And he will spot the town center now, and he goes, oh, you are 2 TCs after all. But of course, with Soup going for the naked fire second town center much faster, he is still technically in a better spot. And he's going to have to take solace with that. Mosca, on the other hand, I think that the whole deal here with Mosca is he wants heroic age, he wants to get the Contarius raids in, and he wants to just exert a crazy amount of pressure on the map here. The military barracks is down. Oracle's starting to spread out as well. And in come the chompers. Sentry tower getting targeted. Mosca under attack. There's not really that many units here for Soup. This is just a min damage attack. He's not really expecting to get anything done. Just picking off one sentry tower is fine. Probably has to think about running here, but more fire archers to come through, as that's not going to be helping him in any way, shape, or form, because immediately comes in the Poseidon Secret and immediately will come through those Contarius. As houses getting spammed up all along the back. Like right now, Soup could be at, I want to say, like 130 pop. That's my guess, if he macros it right. Maybe even more, maybe 140 pop. And he could be just destroying this. But because Mosca put that military camp, that military barracks down, and Soup stopped scouting, he didn't realize that that was an option. He thought he was getting one Townsend to all in. Not the case. And now, Mosca, I think he's in a fantastic spot. He's got through all of the real problems, the big problems in the matchup. So now it's just going to be a matter of, can Mosca outplay? Can Soup outplay? Because there's no significant advantage either way down this line, in my opinion. Quafu going to start moving forward. Of course, Soup trying to get the scout in. He will spot those Contarius. I imagine immediately that's going to mean time for the halberdiers, as those will get queued up. It'll take a little while to get out, but they should be through for the defense, as top of the map might get targeted down. But I mean, you could also just put those Shenong farms down, and that's fine too. We've got the rush all coming through. We've got the ranged soldiers on the way. More peasants coming in. And here comes the heroes. Or Imperial Academies coming in from Shenong. From Soup, excuse me. And now the Divine Judgment, as well as the Gilded Shields. There's also the heavy infantry on the way from Soup. He is going to be looking for somewhat of a revenge attack. But in the way that he's playing this here, he needs to be very quickly ready to build Javelineers. So all these fire archers, they're not really that important. They don't do much for him here. Javelineers needed for the Arcus, and all the other good stuff is going to be super duper important. Now the Contarius coming back from Mosca, just searching around. We will see another Economic Guild coming up from Mosca to spread that lush. Super important. You can see he's already done that to the corner of the map. Look at that. He's ready to put the market up. He sees that trade route already. And the Economic Guild in the middle. Huge for Mosca for much later into the game. Meanwhile, Mosca's got a palace up onto that backside, and Soup is just pumping units out. We do have the Gilded Shields to come through. Contarius looking to charge forward here for the moment, but Mosca's Economic Guild goes up, goes down. No lush for you. Now there's heavy Dow swordsmen in for Soup. How many military buildings? He's got so many. He's up to 8 already. How many Quafu is he up to? 7 Quafu. Not quite enough on the gold, really, to afford to spam out Dows, but is Mosca going to be able to deal with these units? Cairo Ballista are a unit that people forget exists for the Atlanteans past the classical age, but let me tell you, I was thinking about this the other day, a couple of days ago. I thought Fanatics are the be-all and end-all versus these Dow Swordsmen, but if you're building Cairo Ballista, that's a unit that absolutely dominates the even Gilded Shields Dow. In comes the Fey Beast onto the backside. There's a lot of heroes here, so the Fey Beast will get immediately annihilated onto the top side. There goes the Caladria getting sniped as the Pioneers going to try and finish off those Dryads. Mosca, on the other hand, not able to win this fight in the slightest. And now Soup is going to make his way over to take this town center down. Contarius raids coming up to the top position, but there's nothing there. Town center is not going to be long for this world. There's a lot of Arcus are queued up. Of course, the Arcus will be pretty decent versus these Dow swordsmen, but I think Caraballister are the unit he wants here. Either way, you generally force out Javelineers, so what's the problem? You want to get the unit that is actually going to be hard countering rather than soft countering the infantry. Town center falls up onto the top side. Quafu dives into the town center, is able to stay alive, can get back to gathering for the time being. Mosca trying to get his shoot and scoot in. Military differential is still favoring Soup as he slowly walks forward here. Those destroyers don't do anything versus these Dows. Dows are doing, and Halberdiers have got that divine damage to boot, but also just look at the damage. 12.2 damage per attack against the low hack armor Destroyer. Arcus sitting here face tanking versus Dows. You've got to be utilizing that lush there to shoot and scoop, but Mosca doesn't have himself the channels technology to make those Arcus feel incredibly fast. Soup continues to charge forward, but realistically he just needs to go down to the bottom side, push off this gold mine, and he's going to have a ridiculous advantage here. What else can Mosca do? Town center number 3 coming up for Soup. He's got such an overwhelming advantage. He can do that, but he can also go Mythic Age. Zhurong is on the cards. How 2 is on the cards. A Zhurong with the Blazing Prairie to just destroy this. Of course, also the Ying Long could be very, very strong as well. And I get to this point in the game and I say for the second time, this is what happens when you're going Oceanus. Leto is the way, guys. You know what unit beats the Town Swordsman better than any other? The Automaton. We have some destroyers getting picked off onto this side as Soup charging after them. Citizen's going to be repairing this one up, and Soup cleaning up the Economic Guild feels like a pretty decent idea, but Mythic Age is also so close for him as well. Market situation, can sell some food. No market up for Soup though. Armory situation, missing some bronze upgrades for Mosca. He's nearly fully upgraded, but he just can't get himself to a position that his units are going to be able to do anything. Town center coming back up for Mosca over here is a wild premise. Even if it goes up, which it looks like it will, it's just going to die immediately. Mosca's grabbing the town center on the right side as well. Citizens over here, they're going to start going down. The Dows immediately start targeting this town center, and well, at least there's a building to fight under is what Mosca feels like. But these Dow, 51% pierce armor. They don't care about your town center's damage here. Not in the slightest. And Mosca just doesn't have anything. He's got nothing here. I say nothing, but it's 3k military, 150 pop. Town center dies. Soup can wander forward and just take the town center for himself if he wants. We also have the Chasing the Sun technology coming in, which does make the build speed for all buildings go up. Another Carnivora does get dropped down, but immediately gets taken out by those Pioneers. Mosca going to try and shoot and scoop back yet again. But Soup, still not going down to the bottom side of the map, is allowing Mosca quite a bit of play. He sees the gold mine, he sees the situation, he sees the palace, but not wanting to do that just yet. How2 coming in, Soup leaving this position to allow the town center to back up. Mosca does this. Don't ask me how he does this. But Mosca somehow is able to make these types of comebacks happen. Somehow, I don't know how, but he makes these comebacks happen. Town Center about to be back up. Now, did Soup see this? I don't think so, not yet, but he might if that Stymphalian Bird leads him in there. There's also the Hundun in up onto this side. The Kontarius are going to try and take some villages out, but Ballet plus Kuafu and all the peasants to fight back. This is just throwing units away if you are Mosca. On the flip side, Atlas is going to be coming through for Mosca. As the Dow's coming back in, they see the tower to get completed yet again. And they'll say, all right, well, we'll kill it again. This is fine. Another 700 resources down the drain, plus building time. Fine. This is not an issue for me. More buildings onto the front. As Soup's also going to be dropping some wooden walls. These can get converted into towers. Takes a while for it to happen, but it is much, much quicker than just building them manually. Town center falls for the third time. And Hundun about to hit means all of these units from Soup are going to be really strong. But Soup, he's fallen asleep at the wheel yet again. Spend those resources. Mosca is sitting in a really strong full population. The Arcus on the shoot and scoot now. Getting some good damage done. Those Stymphalian Birds are getting cleaned up quickly. As Huang Di is in. And now the dragon comes down. And that will be nighty-night to the Archer Ball of Mosca. Kontarius coming back up to the top gold mine, trying to take that out. That Atlas is not even close to coming through. Soup gets his towers up on the front, and he can walk forward and grab that next gold mine as well. As Kontarius are just back in, but Soup will say, no worries, we'll take the fight. This is fine. We'll just do this. Don't need to react. Can't react anyways. There's still gold mines on the bottom side of the map as well. 82 villages to 98 though. This is the way back into the game for Mosca. Villager kills, killing off the army, and everything else has to be it. Having a quick look at the military though, there's some upgrades coming through for Soup. Imperial Order. Les use Silk. Once Imperial Order's in, Anjuan use Bloodline. Once this is in, the army for Soup becomes dirt cheap. I think the reason he's not... Well, actually, no, he's just got no resources. The reason he's not building units is he was literally waiting on that technology. I don't necessarily recommend that ever, but still, onto the front now. The Yinglong getting some big damage done as those Hero Arcus do send him flying away, but the Javelineer are there, so they can take out those Hero Arcus really quickly. Meanwhile, a Yinglong also starting to move forward. As militarily speaking, it's still basically equal, except there's a Yinglong, and those Undun coming in there gigantic on these sorts of fights as well. Not only to tank, but also to get the damage done, to get the fear in, and everything else. As Mosca, he pulls back. Still trying to make it happen onto the front. We've got a silo coming up. Soup not yet able to afford this town center. He is struggling on the gold. I'd love to see him just take all the villages off of wood that he's got, put them onto a gold mine and just say, that'll do. But nonetheless, for Mosca, he's trying to spend all his resources. He's got nothing in the bank. He can build dryads, but what's that really going to do in the end of the day as Soup is just locked Mosca in his base? There's villagers coming back in to grab these farms while this is all going on. It's just a statement for how much Mosca is struggling here. And now Soup says, town center, I'll take that. That's fine for me now. A couple of wall segments going to come up, and Husk Soup manages to do it again as he has made his way to the finals. He's disposed of Mosca. He disposed of Tunison. The journey to the finals here from Soup has been an incredibly difficult one, but he's shown that he can tango with the absolute best here as he has managed to take everyone out. What a ridiculous run he is having for playoff one, but it's not over for him today. He's got one more game. And you know, the brutality of this tournament, for those that do well in a playoff and they get deep, it doesn't mean a thing. You got to go back and do it all again next week. Back to the round of 16 next week. So Soup, getting to the round of 4, this doesn't help him. Sorry, getting to the round of 2, this doesn't help him. He's got to win the next one. And there's 2 players sitting there, waiting, watching, ready to take him on. But they have to fight each other first. That's Grass, that's Recon. Absolute fireworks to come, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump. I'm going to have just a short break before we start the next game. Don't you guys go nowhere. Enjoy some highlights, and we'll see you in a couple minutes. Dies, it doesn't matter. I don't understand this in the slightest. Units getting thrown for 6 here. In come the Naginata Riders. Is there enough stuff here for Recon? Garnet is full send at the moment. There's also going to be reinforcements coming through. The Swampland ends. Villagers now getting into the mix. Idle villagers over here. There's the towers also in onto this spot. There's also a Kusanagi that can get dropped down that Recon now finally drops in. Of course, all the villagers are dying. Garnet's down to 15 villagers. He's just trying to make his units out to start dealing with these Jaguar Riders. They're going to dive in. Can Matrius hold this is the big question. Carried Archer Micro going to start coming in as the Scorpion Man around on the side. Those priests need to be getting this damage done. But they're not. Migdol Stronghold getting empowered as Matrius just not able to deal with these units. One of those Obsidian Shards to come through as well. That's another unit that you need to have the Siege Tower out to actually deal with, funnily enough. Up onto this top side, the medium Jaguar Riders getting targeted down again. Another Obsidian Shard coming in. What has he got? He's got an Obsidian Butterfly coming out of here. I think the other one was in a Yotochli as well. As Matrius, does he have enough stuff to hold this? Is the